So you want to build a castle. This task might seem difficult as it's a big project to take on. You might not even know where to start. So I created this video to give you guys some help on how you yourself can build a castle. I've broken it down into several steps: planning, the buildings, the towers, the walls, the interiors, and terraforming. The first step is planning. It's really hard to start and piece together a large-scale project without a plan. Every castle is different and it's up to you to choose what to include in your build. To not make this video too overwhelming, we're going to be building a relatively small castle, but the same process can be used for much larger builds. Castles are made up of different parts, such as towers, walls, living corridors, kitchens, blacksmiths, and more. Make use of different colored blocks to help you better visualize the different structures. Mess around with different shapes and layouts until you're happy with the design. You may find it helpful to look at the architecture of different castles online for inspiration. The layout I've come up with for this video includes 3 towers, 2 of which will be part of our gatehouse, a kitchen, a library, a fortified wall, and a keep. With the layout done, it's time to move on to step 2. Step 2. The buildings. This step is where you create the main buildings for your castle. Since the castle we're building is relatively small, we only have one large structure to make, which is our keep. This is where the residents can meet and discuss plans. It's also where the royalty live. For a larger castle, you will have multiple large structures. Let's look at the castle I built in my survival world. Here we have a keep, but we also have a kitchen, treasury, and armory in the design. How many large structures you'll build will depend on your design from step 1. With that out of the way, let's move on to step 3. Step 3. The towers. Towers are what make castles so defensible. You can use them to view intruders from long distances, and adding arrow slits to them lets archers fend off any opposing forces. Most castles use stone towers as they are strong and rigid. It's a good idea to have a tower at each corner of your castle so that all sides are defended. Giving your towers peaked roofs will help give it that castle look. In this step, we will also be adding our gatehouse, as it is made up of 2 towers with an archway and gate in between. You could also build your gatehouse as part of step 2. Make sure the entrance to your castle is big enough to allow horses and carts through when open. Now that your castle is surrounded by secure towers, it's time to move on to the next step. Step 4. The walls. Now that the main building and towers of your castle have been created, it's time to connect them all with walls. By using thick walls, we also have room inside them for storage, living space, and more. You can also add arrow slits in your walls to make it more defensible. With this step done, the main structure of our castle is complete. Let's move on to the next step. Step 5. The interiors. In this step, we will be building the courtyard as well as the interiors of our castle. For this castle, I'll be including a blacksmith, stables, and a well to my courtyard. Feel free to add whatever you want to your castle's courtyard. In the buildings, walls, and towers, add living necessities such as a kitchen, storage room, map room, library, bedrooms, and more. With the interiors done, let's move on to the final step. Step 6. Terraforming. To complete our castle, we need to blend it into the environment. Fix any poorly generated terrain to help your build look more polished. You can add trees, rocks, grass, flowers, and more to help merge your man-made castle in with the nature surrounding it. Don't forget to add a way to get to your castle. In this case, I had to add a bridge so I could cross the river. With the castle built and the surrounding area terraformed, your build is done. This video isn't meant to be a block-by-block tutorial, but instead is meant to help you with the process of how you can build a castle on your own. I used these same steps to allow me to build a huge castle in my survival Let's Play series. I hope this video breaking down the build process of how I make a castle can help you with your future builds. Happy building, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.